within this virgin of cold ore, who shall swallow even your screams with her embrace. I cast the Iron Maiden!
Holy crap, this is the greatest Final Fantasy anime Square Enix never made! For good reason! Hello and welcome again to Oldtaku New Tricks, where today we're gonna be ripping off a band-aid of sorts. It's my first real foray into the world of isekai anime, much to my initial chagrin, with The Rising of the Shield Hero, a tale of a young man named Naofumi Iwatani, who is magically whisked away to a far-off land where everyone seems to be fully aware that they're in a video game.
Doesn't this kinda seem like a video game?
That's 'cause it is a video game.
Now, I don't really have much to say about the complete inundation of "I'm trapped in my video game" anime that we're currently experiencing, other than I've already done my time. But I should add that sometimes it's not really about the premise, but what you do with it. That being said, I would be lying if I said I didn't feel jaded during the first few episodes of Shield Hero. Though I did find a smidgen of hope when I found out that Naofumi is 20. An anime protagonist that isn't a teenager and is actually a legal adult? The hell you say? My cynicism wound up galvanized by the end of the second episode for reasons that we will get into further down the line, but after a couple more episodes I began to lighten up on the series, even when it succumbs to too many annoying tropes that litter the genre. Despite that, the show did well enough with what it had that I found myself enjoying the series overall. With my general thoughts out of the way, it's time for us to actually get into the nitty-gritty, bloody guts of it all. Needless to say, here there be spoilers. I became aware of the existence of Shield Hero after the infamy of the first episode spread through the anime community like only the most trotted out quote-unquote "is this problematic" arguments can.
He said something like, "The night is still young," and then the next thing I knew, he was tearing all my clothes off!
Mine? Why? Why would you lie like that? We're supposed to be a party!
And sure enough, after I watched the first episode, I did feel a pang of, oh, holy Jesus! Okay, where in the world is this going? And that thought kept me going through the rough first few episodes, which I believe is the point of having a morally repugnant beginning. But unlike the somewhat similar tactics used in Goblin Slayer, show something utterly galling for the sake of drumming up talking points, it seems that the false accusations and resulting shame actually fits a theme that the show was going for, with that theme being learning to trust again.
The humans and demi-humans may hate each other, but the heroes mustn't fight amongst themselves.
Throughout the series, Naofumi goes from a lackadaisical college student to an embittered, cagey, and suspicious jerk, and then finally to the hero he was ordained to be, all the while struggling with his, understandably apprehensive attitude toward trusting others.
Did you make any effort to clear your name?
No, I didn't.
I think I can rightfully say that I've never seen a character arc like this before, and it's certainly one that is more mature than I would initially give any other anime of its kind credit for having. Likewise, him becoming an actual hero of legend by turning himself into a veritable Johnny Appleseed, traveling the countryside and doing good where it's needed, is something else I didn't see coming. It's actually compelling to see his fellow heroes of destiny, or the cardinal heroes, just lapping up the shallow aggrandizing that is heaped upon them, and then contrasted by Naofumi wallowing in his outsider status, but slowly earning the trust and actual admiration of the people by becoming a hero of legend, cleaning up the mess left by the other cardinal heroes. All at a price, of course.
Savior my foot, he's just a lousy money grubber!
You mustn't speak like that.
I don't recall asking anybody to call me a savior.
No one is perfect. But speaking of imperfection, while the theme of learning to trust again is very much the driving force of the plot and Naofumi's character arc, it does lead to some head-scratching decisions, mostly surrounding the lead supporting character, Raphtalia, who is a demi-human slave that Naofumi had to buy because no one else would party with him on his adventures, and him having limited offensive capabilities.
That's an amusing response when you don't believe in people.
Yeah, but slaves aren't people. Training one's the same thing as upgrading my shield.
In of itself, the fact that Naofumi has a slave isn't too concerning, but the framing around it is very misguided and a touch creepy. If you squint at the relationship dynamic between Naofumi and Raphtalia, you can kind of see what they were trying to do, with Raphtalia having her figurative slave color broken against her will for that extra added spice. She elects to just have it reinstated as a symbol of trust?
I may be a burden, but please,
Please allow me to still stand by your side.
I mean, yeah, you can make the argument that Naofumi treated her better than any other slaver probably would have, and she could be appreciative of that, but the way it plays out...
There we go. She now has one brand new slave crest.
There was no need to get another one, you know.
But I wanted it.
Yeah... Look, it's made quite clear that Naofumi doesn't have that kind of intent on his brain. In fact, that's sort of why the false accusation stings so much for him personally. But I can't help but feel that this isn't necessarily for him, per se, but rather for some other kind of service, for, I don't know, some kind of air circulation device. Besides, this feels out of character for her. A demi-human whose village was destroyed and her friends and family killed at the hands of a sanctimonious lord who sold her into slavery, and she immediately puts her slave collar back on when she realizes that the human who bought her is actually totally a nice guy, folks. At best, it's just juvenile, which is yet another unfortunate theme of the series.
Come on, don't come here to show off every time you get a new slave.
Guess again.
Another young girl? You really are a lolicon, huh?
You know, just because you lampshade it, doesn't make it any less creepy. Yep, we got our little girl Philo joining the party because we gotta find a way to put the youth movement back in there somehow. I mean, our protagonist is 20. As far as anime is concerned, he might as well be 120. Okay, to be fair, I've certainly seen worse when it comes to this sort of stuff, and at least she's framed mostly in a platonic way. Mostly.
You're finally mine, Philo!
Let go of me! I've lost all my strength!
But even so, that doesn't stop her character from being just annoying.
Why, Master? Why? Mel hasn't done anything wrong. Please tell me why I can't play with her anymore. Please, Master, tell me why.
Yeah, she's supposed to be cute in a bratty way, but by all that is holy, do I find this kind of characterization to be repellent. Manufactured cookie-cutter cuteness like this will always be oil to my water, and her constant chirping about making Naofumi the center of her universe is bamboo shoots underneath the fingernails for me.
You gave me the wagon I like to pull so much, and my clothes, and all sorts of fun stuff. Pretty much everything I love in this world, I got from you.
But while these characters and moments keep me from really liking the series, I still do like the series. And oddly enough, it's mostly because it is an isekai anime. I kind of like how the four cardinal heroes are all completely unperturbed by the fact that they have been whisked away to a video game land. It's like not only do they know that they're in a video game, but they also know they're in an isekai anime.
Do you really mean an actual literal VR MMO?
Yeah.
You guys do get what he means by that too, right?
Yeah, I've read about him in light novels.
Also, not for nothing, but when not only do the player characters seem aware of this, but the other NPCs are aware that they're in a video game, it's just kind of funny to me.
It happens once a decade. While activated, all the experience points adventurers gain in the area are given a significant boost.
When Shield Hero plays fast and loose with metagame concepts such as leveling up and menu surfing, I can't help but chuckle, mostly because I can't stop myself from asking questions about the logistics of this universe. Like, can everyone see each other's health bars? And does your health bar steadily decrease past a certain age, or when you get sick? If Naofumi can see the health bar of everyone in this world, then why in the world did he think that Philo died when she didn't? You see what I mean? It just brings out the nitpicky butthole in everyone. But by far and away, the moments when I'm enjoying Shield Hero the most are when Naofumi uses his power either in inventive and fun battles or in show-stopping spectacles. For anime that's supposed to replicate the feeling you get when you play an RPG, a lot of them feel like they're not really getting the appeal of an RPG. With Shield Hero, that's certainly not the case. They got what makes playing RPGs so much fun. And that's the progression of power. Naofumi goes through the series learning new skills, upgrading his equipment, and finishing quests. Hell, he even plunders the corpses of monsters for fat loot and vendor trash alike. There is a clear line of ascension from the weakest of the four cardinal heroes to the unquestionably strongest, perfectly running along his actual character arc. And the fact that he can summon unholy forces of pain doesn't hurt either. If Shield Hero got one thing right, it's the eye-watering, way over-the-top spells and summons that games like Final Fantasy popularized. I was hooting and hollering every time Naofumi busted out the 5-minute summons like I would do way back in the day. But when Naofumi summoned the literal metal jaws of hell using his own blood as a sacrifice to crush the Pope, I knew I was watching something special.
This can't be!
Literally making it rain blood from the mangled corpse of the Pope. If I have to make it to 150, I will do it just so I can see something even half as metal as that. If only more isekai shows use the concept of being in a video game world with as much energy and vision that Shield Hero does, then I don't think I'd have any problem with the current obsession the industry has with the conceit. Sadly, that isn't the case, but at least now there is an exception that I can have whenever the subject is broached. Wish I could say that without the slave or little girl baggage, but we all know about beggars and choosers. I guess you could boil down me liking Shield Hero as just me being nostalgic for games like Final Fantasy. And you wouldn't be wrong. But I'm still amazed by how much this anime surprised me, which is the best kind of good you can possibly ask for. But what about all of you? What did you think of the Rising of the Shield Hero?